Hello folks, it's bloody hot in my office today when I'm filming this, so I thought I'd come and sit in the car and use the aircon. I mean, other people get away with it, don't they? Starting off with the news that the UK and the US have finalised their tariff trade deal, or post-tariff trade deal. UK becomes the first nation to secure a trade agreement with the US under President Donald Trump's new tariff regime. The deal reduces US tariffs on UK car exports from 25% to 10%, for up to 100,000 vehicles annually, benefiting manufacturers like Jaguar Land Rover and Rolls-Royce. There you go, the real working brands of the people. In return, the UK agreed to cut tariffs on US agricultural products, including beef and ethanol. The UK maintains a 10% tariff on US built cars imported into the UK, just out of interest. So that's it, 10% either way. Jaguar Land Rover eyes revival amid tariff relief and PR overhaul. So I'll start with the second story, actually. They obviously did that Copy Nothing campaign, which some said was a huge success, others said was a massive disaster. I think those arguing it was a success was because at no point ever had more people been talking about Jaguar than they were at that moment. But obviously lots of it was negative, lots of the coverage was negative. A lot of people thought it was awful, it had nothing to do about cars. Loads of other thoughts on that, but they are now seeking a new advertising agency to work with after that backlash. So read into that what you will. With the reduction of US tariffs, Jaguar Land Rover is set to resume exports to the American market, a significant move for the company as it prepares to launch its upcoming EV model, the 𝙼𝙁𝙁𝙄𝙇𝙄𝑼𝙏. But whenever I see shots of that car, to me, it looks like something that's meant for a different market other than this, its home market, if you like. I don't think we'll see loads of those on the road in the UK, but somewhere like the US, it might actually do okay, especially California. Feels like a California kind of car for me. I just want to see what the turning circle is going to be on it, because it looks like it's about 12 metres long. So that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? BMW reviews UK plant operations post-tariff changes. BMW is assessing the future of its Swindon plant after cutting 180 temporary jobs at its Oxford factory. The company cites economic volatility and recent US tariffs as factors influencing their staffing and operational decisions. Whether that will now change in light of this tariff agreement that came yesterday, I'm recording this on Friday, by the way. We'll have to wait and see. And I've only got like 3 more tariff-based stories, by the way, and then we're moving on to something else. Toyota projects a $1.2 billion impact from the tariffs. The company's exploring strategies to mitigate these financial challenges, which would see a 21% drop in their profits. Nissan cancels $1.1 billion EV battery plant in Japan. They're now saying, well, should we stick it in Japan or look elsewhere, possibly the US? Because the tariffs are going to really hurt. Moving on from those tariffs at last, Tesla's been denied its Robotaxi trademark in the US. It said that Robotaxi is too generic, so therefore they can't use it. Terms widely used to describe autonomous ride-handling vehicles across the industry, making it ineligible for an exclusive trademarks rights deal. Tesla may appeal the decision by providing evidence that the term has acquired distinctiveness through its usage. In other words, people use it so much to describe that vehicle that they've produced that it's made it distinctive and is therefore no longer this one big sort of overarching term. They've probably got an argument there, to be honest. Volkswagen's initiated a recall of its ID.4 electric vehicles due to software problems affecting the infotainment system. The recall underscores challenges automakers face in integrating advanced technologies into vehicles. Owners are advised to contact their local dealerships for software updates and further assistance. Probably quite a lot of you watching this currently in an ID.4 that has had some issues with the infotainment system. The good news is there's now a recall. I'm not sure quite the depth of that, what it's really looking to overcome. But if it's sort of general bugs and the fact that it resets itself every once in a while, that kind of stuff, that's brilliant news. Volvo XC70 returns as an extended range plug-in hybrid, offering up to 124 miles of pure electric range. That's quite an impressive number. I'm sure it'll get nothing like that in the real world, but you might be talking about 100 miles in the real world. things have come a long way since you could get like 12 miles real world in a plug-in hybrid, that's for sure. The problem is you're paying for an internal combustion engine and a gearbox or some sort of something to turn that torque into traction, and you're paying for electric motors and a battery. So you've obviously got the maintenance of the internal combustion engine as well. That's my biggest challenge with plug-in hybrids. I know there are some people out there that they will suit very well, but the depreciation always looks like it's going to be epic, to me anyway. Diesel isn't always a dirty word. In a recent opinion piece, 𝙇𝙄𝙉𝙆𝙎 argues that diesel engines still have a place in reducing carbon emissions, especially for drivers covering high miles. He says that diesel vehicles often offer better fuel economy and lower CO2 emissions compared to some petrol counterparts, making them suitable for long distance drivers. Okay, all right, that's interesting. So diesels could be better than petrols if you're driving a long distance. Not groundbreaking stuff, is it? Particularly. I think diesel fumes are still pretty blooming bad for you. Obviously with modern diesels and DPFs and all that kind of stuff, they're also a bit more complex. They're going to cost you more to maintain. You need to change the oil a bit more regularly, and all the rest of it. They're still brilliant for towing, for anything where you've got to pull weight, agricultural work. Obviously they're used in haulage all the time. So diesels, I mean, I like diesel cars. I'm a fan of diesels. I've had plenty of diesels. I just don't want to breathe in the fumes particularly. And would I get one over a petrol today, aside from any kind of environmental concerns whatsoever? Because I still think it's better to run an existing car than it is to scrap an existing car and buy a brand new one if you're really worried about the environment, to a degree anyway. But I simply wouldn't buy one because of all the tech that's in them now to try and cheat emissions. And that's enough for me, just the thought of the bills that I might get on the back of it. And of course I do lots of short journeys, so a diesel would be a bit daft for me. BYD surpasses major brands in UK sales. Chinese electric car giant BYD's outsold brands like Dacia, Honda, Citroën, Mini and Tesla in the UK during the first 4 months of 2025. The surge indicates BYD's growing influence in the British automotive market. The company's affordable EV offerings and expanding dealership network have contributed to its rapid growth. This is quite interesting because BYD are putting some decent cars out there now, but I still feel like they're just not quite there. There's just something missing. A lot of it is the software, and just tiny little bits that just still makes them feel a little bit off somehow. The Seal, I think, is a gorgeous looking car and it's a lovely thing to drive, but when you turn the sat-nav on and it starts talking to you in a very odd accent, and the driver information display looks like it came from Temu, that's a bit of a letdown. But in every other way, it's brilliant. I drove the C-Line 7 recently. That was pretty impressive. That's a really good competitor for the Tesla Model Y. However, it's still got that really naff driver information display, some issues around the software and stuff, and certainly for the limited time I spent in one, because it was a very limited time, it didn't seem that efficient. But it's incredibly impressive what they're doing, and if you hear about things like their R&D spend, it's insane, and I've got no doubt that BYD will be the biggest car company in the world for a significant amount of time, unless lots of the traditional manufacturers get together, swallow each other up and build some sort of juggernaut to compete, because BYD really is a juggernaut. Don't forget, it's not too long ago they started off making batteries for Nokia phones and then making iPads for Apple, and now, you know, they're an absolute giant of the automotive world. That's about it for this one. Hope you've enjoyed that. Trying something different. I'm not trying to rip off Jeff Buys Cars or anything. I just really am quite hot in my office and thought I'd come and sit in the air-conditioned car and do it in a different way. Instead of having my head over the front of Auto Express website or something. I thought I'd come and sit in the car and do it in a different way, and hopefully it's been okay. Hopefully you can put up with it. Let me know, do you prefer the normal way I do it? Do you prefer this? Please give the video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and please buy me some lemsip or something. I'm coming down with something, I think. Thanks ever so much for watching, folks. I'll catch you on the next one. Huge thanks to all my channel members for your continued support. I really do appreciate it.